Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Sabalenka's emotional control key to US Open victory. Aryna Sabalenka credits mental strength for US Open victory. Aryna Sabalenka has won the US Open women's singles title. The world number one defeated Amanda Anisimova in straight sets on Saturday. The final score was 6-3. 7-6. This victory marks her fourth career Grand Slam championship. Sabalenka credited a new mental approach for her success. She revealed a significant personal breakthrough was key. Controlled performance secures Grand Slam title. Sabalenka's win was a display of power and precision. She maintained composure throughout the match. Her aggressive baseline game overwhelmed her opponent. According to Reuters, the Belarusian player focused intensely on emotional control. This strategy was a direct response to previous final losses. She decided to learn from those defeats rather than forget them. The victory solidifies her position at the top of the rankings. It also ends her season on a triumphant note. This win carries special meaning after a challenging year. Emotional journey and personal motivation. Sabalenka spoke openly about a period of depression. This followed the tragic passing of her father in 2019. She channeled her grief into a powerful motivation for success. She stated her goal was to put her family name in history. She believes she feels his protection from above. This personal drive has become a cornerstone of her resilience. Her journey involved reevaluating her approach to high-pressure matches. A holiday and a specific book provided crucial insights. This mental shift was the foundation for her US Open triumph. Sabalenka's US Open victory is a testament to her psychological growth. Her ability to harness emotion proved decisive. This one cements her legacy as a dominant force in tennis. When Aryna Sabalenka lifted the US Open trophy, the crowd roared, not just in celebration of a Grand Slam win, but in awe of a transformation that had been years in the making. Known for her ferocious power and thunderous ground strokes, Sabalenka had always been a dangerous contender. But on that particular night in New York, it wasn't just her forehand that won her the match. It was something far quieter, far more subtle. It was emotional control, the fire within. From the beginning of her career, Sabalenka has been a player of immense passion. Her energy on court, whether unleashed in a scream after a blistering winner or shown in a furious racket smash after a double fault, made her both mesmerizing and unpredictable. Her journey in the early years was marked by volatility. She could crush a top 10 player in straight sets one day and collapse mentally in the very next round. At times, it seemed her greatest opponent wasn't across the net, it was within. Analysts chalked it up to nerves, inexperience, or even the burden of expectation. But Sabalenka always knew what the real challenge was. "I had to learn to fight myself first," she once said in a candid post-match interview. "The girl across the net was never the only battle I was fighting." From explosions to equilibrium, 2023 was a turning point. Sabalenka began the season with renewed discipline, winning the Australian Open and rising steadily in the rankings. But it wasn't just her improved serve or fitness that had changed. Observers noticed something else, a calmness under pressure. The same fire still flickered in her eyes, but it no longer consumed her. She had learned to channel it. By the time the US Open rolled around, Sabalenka was not just a contender. She was a favorite. Yet the road was anything but smooth. In her quarterfinal match against a resurgent former champion, she dropped the first set in a tiebreak riddled with unforced errors. In the past, that would have been the trigger for a downward spiral. But this Sabalenka stood tall. Between sets, she didn't smash her racket or scream at her box. Instead, she took a deep breath, nodded slightly, and came back swinging with controlled aggression. That match would end in her favor after 3 tightly contested sets. But more impressive than her winners was her poise. "She's like a different person," said former champion Martina Navratilova during commentary. "Still fierce, still emotional, but not emotional in a destructive way anymore. She's harnessed it." The final test. The US Open final was the ultimate test, not just of skill, but of mental fortitude. Her opponent, a rising star known for her defensive mastery, seemed unbreakable in the early stages. Sabalenka's shots were met with relentless resistance, and soon she found herself down a set. The crowd sensed the tension. Would this be another chapter in Sabalenka's history of near misses? Would her demons rise again? But this time, something had changed. Midway through the second set, she missed an easy overhead, a shot she'd make 9 times out of 10. The old Sabalenka might have erupted in frustration. Instead, she smiled, yes, smiled, and moved on. That smile, fleeting but powerful, was a signal to herself and everyone watching. I am still in control. And she was. She adjusted her game, found deeper angles, and began to dictate rallies with measured force. The momentum shifted. One break, then another, and suddenly Sabalenka was in the driver's seat. By the third set, her opponent looked winded, not physically, but mentally. Sabalenka had become the rock. No outburst, no panic, just focused intensity. When the final point was won and she collapsed to her knees in joy, it was a release of emotions, but only after the job was done. A champion reforged. After the match, in her post-win press conference, Sabalenka was asked what had made the difference. I stopped fighting myself, she said. I stopped letting the small things eat me alive. This win, it's not just for me. It's for every athlete who's been told they're too emotional, too intense. You can feel everything and still be in control. She credited her team, her psychologist, and months of mental work. Not just meditation or breathing techniques, but the hard work of facing her inner fears, her past losses, and learning to see emotion not as a weakness, but as a tool. The power of emotional control in sport. What Sabalenka showcased at the U.S. Open wasn't just emotional stability. It was emotional intelligence. It was the ability to feel frustration without acting on it, to channel nerves into energy, and to remain present in the biggest moments. In many ways, her journey reflects a broader truth in sports and life. Raw talent can take you far, but self-mastery takes you all the way. Athletes like Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, and Serena Williams have spoken often about the mental side of the game. But Sabalenka's story resonates deeply because hers was a visible transformation. The world saw her storms, and then they saw her rise above them. A blueprint for the next generation. Sabalenka's victory has already inspired a new generation of players, not just because of her power or physicality, but because of the emotional growth she demonstrated. Young athletes are often told to stay calm or control their temper, but rarely are they shown how. Sabalenka's openness about her struggles offers something invaluable, a roadmap. She didn't suppress her feelings. She learned to ride them like waves. She didn't become robotic. She became resilient. The legacy begins. As she posed for photos with the trophy, smiling wide and eyes glistening, there was a sense that this was more than just a win. It was a beginning. Aryna Sabalenka, once seen as her own worst enemy, had become her greatest ally. And in doing so, she didn't just win the U.S. Open, she won the deeper game. The one between the ears. The one that separates the great from the merely good. The fire still burns, but now it lights her path forward. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share. Till next time.